This episode continues from the previous part. If you haven't seen it, you'll find it above on the top left of the screen, specifically with the picture and Iran. And they are training under the supervision of Luid, and they use the flying ship that Kai took to search for the ninja. Luid is happy because he thinks Kai has returned with the ninja, but then he finds the flying ship starting to fall, and it's destroyed. Luid quickly jumps onto it to see what is happening, while Iran puts out the fire on it, and Soura tries to fix it before it crashes into the ground, and at the last moment, she manages to fix the direction. Luid prays towards the ship. Upon landing, he boards to find Kai, but discovers the ship is deserted, and there was nothing but notes. He left Kai on the road and the traces of the letters on the ship, and a strange substance on the ground like water. Luid is surprised, but he decides to follow the steps that Kai took before to find out where he went. After a long spaceship flight, they reach Kai's supposed location, only to find dragons battling monstrous machines from the world of chaos. Luid, Soura, and Iron go down to kill the monsters to save the dragons. After a big fight, Luid is found talking to water. Iron approaches him and reveals that Nia and Mabna have the ability to control the power of water. He finishes a sentence, swearing that she's in the monsters line. Luid asks her why she's in the popcorn line. She responds by asking him why he's in the dragon popcorn line. After arguing briefly, they realize they haven't seen each other in a while. Now isn't the time to fight. When they bump into each other, it's revealed that dragons attacked and destroyed a village, which is why she was killing them before Luid arrived. And he stays with Soura and Iran. So anyway, Yaba is taking them to the Monster King to set them up. But as soon as he sees the dragon, he starts arguing with them and tells them that no one enters the village as long as this dragon is with you. But after a big argument like that, she's able to convince him that he's a good dragon, so they all go in to see the king. That's when she starts telling Lloyd the story. After the fusion happened, she was completely lost, and a lot of things happened. While she was looking for anyone, that's when she found Koi. He was standing with the monsters, fighting the dragon, and that's when we find out that this was after the fusion event. They crossed into the monsters' world and ate from their sacred hill, consuming clay. When the dragon ate from the sacred hill, it became significantly stronger. And no one knew that he was trying to drive them away from the sacred clay, just like we saw, and that she was trying to drive them away. And if you ask me why she wanted to drive them away, I mean, why can't they all just live together in peace and eat the same thing? The clay is normal. I'll tell you that the dragon took all the clay for itself, and that's what happened. The monsters began to falter as they battled the dragons alongside other creatures who came to their aid. However, the dragons proved to be far more powerful than their adversaries. Suddenly, they flew away and left the spaceship. Nia then set it to autopilot to the training center. This clarifies the reason for the destruction, the evidence of wars, and the identity of the liquid on it besides the remaining sacred clay, Kai. So after it was hit and flew out of the battle, it was gone. He searched for the Monster Kingdom and found it, but dragons guarded the entrance. They fought him until Lloyd, Naya, the picture, Aaron, and the monsters arrived. Upon hearing the dragons, they rush out to find them attacking Kark. They fight the dragons in a big battle, but ultimately realize they can't defeat them and are defeated themselves. Fryo stands on the sacred mud, his power surging. The dragons shrink and leave in a peculiar manner. Even if we understand something, we might see. Among the group, it's clear that Fryo has fully recovered, so they attack him. When he struggles to find the monsters, they lead him to the sacred mud to eat as much as he wants, after saving the dragon's tails from being burned. The team boards the flying ship, and after a short flight, they find the Kingdom of the Clouds. But the problem is that there's a monster attacking the kingdom, so the ninjas try to stop it. But they capture Soura and Aaron, and they were about to finish them off completely. If it weren't for the fact that Lloyd noticed the monsters came out of the crack or the door caused by the fusion accident, of course Lloyd closes it with his power, either him or Kai, and the happy monster disappears. The problem is that Soura and Aaron fall while in the Kingdom of the Clouds, literally on the clouds. I helped her. Bilawa, the wind spirit, helps them return to the cloud, surprising them. Upon closer look, they discover Bilawa is a cloud dweller who secretly controls the wind. Realizing they've seen her, she hides again. The important thing is that the ninja I helped meets the king of the Cloud Kingdom. And if you remember, in this kingdom, there are people who write plays or act them out. I mean, they write plays, if you remember from the season. The ninja obtained a sword from a kingdom that reveals the future. Crucially, the ninja assisted her using this sword. They leave Wyron's picture and head to the library, hoping the Cloud Kingdom's books, which record everything, have information about the merging event. And that's also what happened, so the ninja helped her. They go to the library and stay there like there's this worm that brings them the information they need. But there's only one worm, the one that's red, and it tells them about the Eye of Kabul network, and it takes them on a tour of gifts after it gets to know them. But then it stops at the picture of Wyron. They confront the Lady of the Winds, who appeared and controls the winds, even though Moro was supposed to be the Lord of the Winds. However, Moro has been dead since Season 5. When Said Ansar dies, his element selects a worthy individual to assume the power of that element. This lady was chosen, becoming Suhaila al-Riya, but she doesn't acknowledge the situation. And she quickly learns that there's a law in the Kingdom of Clouds. You can't keep power or hold on to it, you just have to believe in fate. The important thing is, before they finished talking to me, if her happiness, the monster, came back again between the cracks, and Said came down hitting everyone. And of course, the residents of the Kingdom of Clouds, Morwa, weren't really anything, except that they just floated around aimlessly. He goes to the library for ninja-related things, but finds them hanging by their collars from the ceiling. As he tries to free them, the worms wrap around him and Hidayah. The situation in the kingdom becomes disastrous. When Lady Al-Sahab attacks, she goes after the monster to stop him and put him in his place, and she joins her forces. Soura, taking some of Rio's power, battles the monsters alongside Lady Al-Riya. Embrium then arrives with the ninja. Director Ibn Da had the characters free the monsters with love and friendship, releasing their anger. The monsters listened and trusted them. Importantly, Lady Al-Riya feared for Hassan. Expelled from the Kingdom of Clouds, the king informs her that post-fusion, much has changed, and they require a new protector. The important book was lost amid the chaos. This is when we realize that your Uncle Rabton was sneaking around with the clouds, taking the other dragons in the Kingdom of Clouds, without anyone noticing him and his soldiers. Lloyd, Kai, Naya, Soura, and Aaron saved a dragon from capture after a battle in the clouds, causing Rabton to hide. And when Jay throws the ball, a hologram of a huge wolf comes out of it. So Kai tells them it's just a hologram, meaning it doesn't have any real effect, like good morning or something. But before he finishes that sentence, the wolf hits him, making him rethink everything. Afterward, he tries to defeat the hologram. Meanwhile, we find out that Surya is actually the origin of this technology. Back when she was living with Rabton. The scene was in the city where Rabton and Ross lived, and the city's name was something like Embrium, I think that's what it was called. They used the energy from their watches, which was dragon energy, as the city's power source. Surya, at school, ran away upon discovering their true nature. I mean, Surya doesn't like to talk about her past, especially the part about the wheelchair and all that stuff. She doesn't consider any of that her real past. The giant Zeeb struck the ninjas hard, and they failed to notice that their leader had escaped with the dragon they had freed, right before their eyes. So, looking at the picture, he says, "No, we will steal the invention you created. This picture says that what you invented won't destroy it, but first, I will need to go to the city of Embrium to enter and test the device." And Damra says, "No, I have something with you." Floyd wants to fill it, but he says that if they have a better chance of success together, because they will help each other. Of course, Will and Billy are determined, saying that it's better to have two so they can help each other. They want three, or else everyone stays. "I'm coming with you, I'm not stepping on anything, so you guys understand, we'll come back after that." Zechariah's memories include a scene from her childhood at Embrium School, clearly showing her genius and uniqueness compared to her peers. She invented a hologram producing device, but her teachers discouraged her, telling her to think outside the box and that her mother is inside the box and that she should be left alone. Instead of being hurt by the king who wants her to ask, he makes her think about certain things. Sura ignores their warnings and continues developing her invention, eventually using it to create animals. She catches the attention of the head of the Embrium factories, who personally asks her to work with them. Sura can't believe it, but accepts the offer. Upon entering the lab, she finds a locked-up dragon. Overjoyed to finally see one, she eagerly wants to play with it, but her joy is short-lived. She discovers that they extract energy from the dragon, usually until its death. The extraction process is difficult and causes immense suffering to the dragon. And that's natural. She rejects the image and information associated with the name Image, which is the real name of the boy she saw in The Chosen One. Sura, unaware of the person's identity, rejects what she witnessed. She runs to her parents, screaming about the incident, but they insult her, expressing their shame. She is accused of having the opportunity to work in the world's biggest laboratory and serve the great kingdom of Embrium, but she decided to live like and run after some monsters. Their name is Talanine. What does that even mean? I mean, it's not a conversation. I mean, the important thing is that they just treated her like an animal, just giving her food and preventing her from getting an education. So, of course, Sura is shocked by her family's behavior, and she decides to run away from the city completely. She calls herself Sura because the name means orphan, which is someone without a father or mother. So who do we befriend again? Lloyd, Sura, and Aaron, while Sura tells them she changed her mind. We can't go to Embrium because they've become so strict that they used to arrest someone just for making a mistake in the musical note they were playing. He suggests to them that all of Embrium is fortified, implying potential consequences. They contemplate their next actions. The strict control requires guards, making escape difficult. If the control is mistakenly secured, it's not just by one person, but by multiple, suggesting a complex security system. After a long chase through the sewers, Embrium and the robots emerge at the Embrium Security Center. They inquire about the state of the security center, so they can make cards to enter the lab. And after they make the cards, a guard at the checkpoint stops them and asks for their personal cards. So they show him the cards, and he tells them to wait. Then, how do they say they got approved? We weren't leaving. The arrest wasn't for trespassing, no. It was because we weren't wearing a cap. And today, the Empress ordered that everyone must wear a cap. After that, they take anyone who doesn't wear one to arrest them. Farawi at that time attacks the guards while Loid and Wern are helping him, a ball. Soura sneaks into the lab to destroy the device but finds the lab head and witness there. The lab head says, "Thank God for your safe return. Of course, we expected you would come here to destroy the device, but what you don't know is that we have made hundreds of copies of it to use them. However, there is a simple problem. We don't know how to activate them, and we need to activate them. And in return, this will be the highest position in the Empire after the Empress." But Soura refuses, so the president at that time will bring the dragon named Soura, and the one who remains above her is the sorcerer, who was in the last part who started at that time. He will torture the dragon because Soura, with a lower meaning, is forced against her will. She agrees to activate the devices, so Soura pretends to be obedient and sets a trap for the president and the sorceress, making the device explode. At that moment, everyone is confused while the dragon named Soura is also freed and they escape from the lab. But she encounters Rabtan face to face, and then Soura tells him that she has discovered her elemental power, which turns out to be the power of technology. Or, by God, her greatest power is the power of technology. She can control all the devices around her, and all that, and she can destroy them. But she didn't do that. If you let her escape, of course. Rabtan at that moment laughs at her and tells her, "Elemental power? Who are you with that power? You just started controlling your powers." So Soura at that moment thinks and says to him, "You're right." Then at that moment she attacks him with moves. The ninja's defeated and captured, and the dragon Soura is dragged back to the lab helpless. After all, she's just a regular ninja. Simultaneously, Rosette surrendered and informed her they would torture the dragon until she activated all devices. Under duress from the dragon's torture, Soura was compelled to activate the devices. Shortly after, the first device was finished, and the dragon's torture ceased. Soura realizes she will make the kingdom of Embrium immensely powerful, capable of hunting any dragon, including the original dragon herself, all for the sake of the black eyes of the dragon named Soura. And if you ask us about the companions, who is Malfin? He does something for Wade and Vern, right? So I'll tell you, who is Malfin? In the next part, honestly, I just wanted to be straightforward because I want to go to sleep, and that's it. So this was today's summary with the companions. Don't forget, there's a lot more coming soon. So we wanted to tell you everything from the last time, and we'll keep you updated with everything new on the screen and in prayer. That's it. This was with you, Haduda and Tuda. Tuda, the story's over.